In 2022, the state of Oregon is in a three-way race for governor. The three candidates are Tina Kotek, recently the Democratic Speaker of the Oregon House, Betsy Johnson, an independent who was formerly a Democratic state senator, and Christine Drazan, the Republican House Minority Leader. Oregon has had Democratic governors since 1987, but as in any election, unexpected things could happen, especially in the three-way race. As is often the case in Oregon, there has been talk of an urban-rural divide in voting patterns, with two of these candidates positioning themselves as outsiders. This was recently accented when Betsy Johnson called the city of Portland the city of roaches, which in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, seems like a very dehumanizing statement. But before we return to that, let's look at where the candidates are from. Tina Kotek is very much a Portlander, with her former House district covering North Portland, including the St. John's area east of Portland International Airport. To say that she has the perspectives and priorities of a Portlander is probably a fair assessment. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see Betsy Johnson's hometown of Scappoose in Columbia County. Along with Scappoose, her district covered most of northwestern Oregon to the coast. Scappoose itself is about 20 miles north of downtown Portland and about 12 miles from the north of Portland. And if we go out a little bit more, we can see Drazan's district, located in Canby, a suburb of Portland in Clackamas County, as well as surrounding suburban areas. So at first it looks like Johnson and Drazan are outsiders, at least geographically. But when we zoom out further, they are close to each other in terms of northwestern Oregon, and when we zoom out even further, they are very close to each other in terms of all of Oregon. Oregon is a big state. The distance between Portland and Scappoose, or Portland and Canby, is not very large compared to places like the Southern Coast or Blue Mountains. Politicians often like to appear folksy, and many times the public can view images of rural people as being somehow more virtuous than city dwellers. Betsy Johnson, in my view, is playing the simple country girl card, which is both simplistic in itself and especially coming from an exurb where many of the people commute to the Portland area to work. In other words, the ratio between hat and cattle might be pretty high here. Many people in surrounding communities like Scappoose and Canby also have the opportunity to use the services of the city of Portland, services they do not directly pay for. The fairness of how urban and metro areas allocate resources and the cultural issue of how people view urban versus rural areas is a complicated series of issues. But a simple look at a map will tell us one thing. All three candidates for governor come from within a 20-mile radius of downtown Portland, which is a pretty small area compared to Oregon as a whole.